Hello and welcome back to my channel, Talented Reads. Today we are talking about 2025. Can you believe that? 2025. New releases for January. These are... There's quite a few of them. I'm going to do these monthly, so these are just for January, with, of course, the dates as they were from when I put the video together. So, jumping right in, on January 7th, we start with Wake Up and Open Your Eyes by Clay McLeod Chapman. This says from Master of Horror, Clay McLeod Chapman. This is a relentless social horror novel about a family on the run from a demonic possession epidemic that spreads through social media. That sounds awesome. I think it's a good twist on, like, the social media stuff. Sounds pretty relative. I really enjoyed Clay McLeod Chapman's book, The Ghost Eaters, so I'm looking forward to this one. Also on the 7th is The Note by Alafair Burke. This is a thriller. Says a vacation in the Hamptons goes terribly wrong for three friends with a complicated history. Sounds good. Sounds kind of like a stranded vacation thriller, so I'm there for that. And then also on the 7th is The Perfect Home by Daniel Kintz. This is Fixer Upper meets Gone Girl in this suspenseful and witty domestic thriller set in the world of home renovation TV. Featuring a woman who becomes public enemy number one after a horrifying discovery prompts her to flee her celebrity husband with their twin babies. I pretty much added this as soon as I heard that it was like a home renovation show thriller. I mean, come on. How can you pass that up? Alright, moving on January 14th is Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix. Says they call them wayward girls, loose girls who grew up too fast, and they've been sent to Wellwood House in St. Augustine, Florida, where unwed mothers are hidden by their families to have their babies in secret, to give them up for adoption, and most important of all, to forget any of it ever happened. Everything the girls eat, every moment of their waking day, and everything they're allowed to talk about is strictly controlled by adults who claim they know what's best for them. Then Fern meets a librarian who gives her an occult book about witchcraft and power is in the hands of the girls for the first time in their lives. But power can destroy as easily as it creates, and it's never given freely. There's always a price to be paid, and it's usually paid in blood. Oh, sounds so good. Oh, Grady Hendrix. I love his stuff. He's really good at horror, and he does a nice mix of, like, comedy, kind of light with a mix of dark. So, I'm excited for this one. Next on the 14th is The Favorites by Lynn Fargo. Says to the world, they were a scandal, to each other an obsession. This is an epic love story set in the sparkling savage sphere of elite figure skating, starring a woman determined to carve her own path on and off the ice. So I added this because I saw Lynn Fargo and I was like, yep, tell me no more, because I loved her thriller at the university. I'm forgetting the name of it. They Never Learn, I think it's called. And then now I'm kind of realizing I think this is more of like a contemporary with a little bit of romance rather than like thrillery. But I'm still intrigued, so I will pick it up. Speaking of thriller, also on the 14th is Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. Says the million-copy best-selling queen of twists returns with a gripping and deliciously dark thriller about marriage and revenge. I mean, I love a good revenge story, so I've read a couple of Alice Feeney books, and I do enjoy them, so I'm excited for that one. Next is... Oh, I don't know if I can say this word Anyways, it's The Secret History of Blank Kit by Reagan Kennedy. And I said this is on the 14th, too. Marty Goddard, this is a nonfiction, by the way. Marty Goddard dreamed up a new crime-solving tool, a kit that could help rape survivors fight for justice. This thrilling investigation tells the story of the troubled, heroic woman who kicked off a feminist revolution in forensics and then vanished into obscurity. I thought that was very interesting. I'd love to know more about how that came up, and of course the fact that she vanished is very intriguing. So that looks like it'll be a good one. Next is And Day One We Will Die by Patrick Barb. This is also on the 14th. Says spotlighting the bizarrely beautiful and beautifully bizarre music and lyrics of indie folk rock band Neutral Milk Hotel. And One Day We Will Die features 22 short stories from the realms of weird, phantasmagoric, and speculative fiction, all inspired by the cult classic songs written and performed by Jeff Madnam and company. I like speculative fiction, and the fact that this is kind of inspired by songs of a band. I've written another book similar to this, and it's really interesting, so I'm kind of curious to see how this one is, and it'd be really cool to, like, pick up or listen to the music, like, while I'm reading the stories, and yeah, I think that'd be really fun. Next is Cross My Heart by Megan Collins. Says the author of The Family Plot brings her signature, taut, emotionally charged, and propulsive prose to a twisty novel about a heart transplant patient who becomes romantically obsessed with her donor's husband. Oh, sounds so good. I don't think I've ever read that kind of a thriller before. And it just sounds wild and crazy. And I love the cover, so I'm excited for this one. Okay, and coming on the 21st is On the Storm by Rebecca Yarros. This is book 3 in the Empyrean series. I think there's supposed to be 5 books or something. I mean, at this point, they kind of have all, like, picked up from where the previous one left off, so obviously I don't want to, like, talk about this one. But it's kind of about, like, this war college, you know, and of course, you kind of get divided into your factions and you compete and all that stuff. We follow Violet Sorrendale of the Writer's Quadrant, and there's dragons and it's high fantasy and there's romance, and I'm buddy reading this with a couple friends and it's been a fun time. I'm not a super high fantasy reader, nor am I a super romance reader, so reading these books have been a bit of a journey, but I will give it credit because there are some pretty exciting things that have happened, and it's kept me on my toes for some parts, so I will definitely be picking up book 3. Alright, next is coming on the 28th. This is At Dark, I Become a Loathsome by Eric LaRocca. It said this is a grim yet gentle, horrifying yet hopeful, intense tale of death, trauma, and love. He's kind of a hit or miss for me. He's done some short novellas. He did a longer novel. He did, I think, a short story collection. Like I said, kind of a hit or miss, but I will always pick up his books because I love his writing style. The way he thinks about the plot and stuff is just always really interesting. He's not afraid to go there for some cases, so very excited about this one. Next is At the Bottom of the Garden by Camilla Bruce. This is also on the 28th. This is a murderess becomes the guardian of 2 very unusual girls, and this mesmerizing gothic novel from author Camilla Bruce. I read her for the first time last year and thought her book was really good. Has a very kind of fairy tale, poetic atmosphere, and with the gothic mixed in, I think that'll be really nice. So I'm looking forward to it. It sounds very unique. And yeah. Next is Our Winter Monster by Dennis Mahoney. This is also on the 28th. Says a chilling holiday horror about an unhappy couple running from their problems and straight into the maw of a terrifying beast. Says it's perfect for fans of Paul Tremblay and Sarah Gran. I am a fan of Paul Tremblay and Sarah Gran, so I figured, this has to be for me. And it's a holiday horror, wintry, monstery. You can't go wrong, you know? Alright. Next is Blob by Maggie Sue. This is also on the 28th. Says a humorous and deeply moving debut novel in the vein of Bunny and Convenience Store Woman, about a young woman who tries to shape a sentient blob into her perfect boyfriend. How can I not put this on my list? It sounds so weird. But I'm excited and dying to read it. And lastly is Old Soul by Susan Barker. Again, this is the last of the month on the 28th. It says the historian meets Under the Skin in this searingly provocative literary horror novel about one woman's determination to stay alive at any terrifying cost. I read Under the Skin, was it this year or last year? Might have been this year. Very interesting novel. I don't know that I quite understood the full thing it was trying to say. And there was a spoilery thing that happened, which if you read it, then you know. So I'm curious if some of that's in a playlist, because it says it references that book, so I'm curious. But that is all I got for you for January releases. There's quite a few good ones coming out this year that I'm very much looking forward to. So they're starting the year out right. And drop a comment below. Let me know if any of these are catching your eye. If there's any other new releases coming out in January that you're excited about that I didn't talk about, because I don't know, maybe I need that. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.